Well, good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to our Friday morning trading room. Sorry for being a little bit late opening up the room. I was having some technical difficulties. But I think we got things resolved. All right. Yesterday's session, as anticipated, the afternoon, pretty much was stuck in a sideways range. And that's kind of how the market finished the day. This morning, you can see we're opening up near the top end of that range. With a ever so slight gap. You can see prices finished around 58.90. We're opening around 58.98, 5900. So the slightest of opening gaps. I'm thinking the market has a more bearish bias, but that's just my opinion right now. We'll see how things unfold. I guess here on the Hawk we had a very early signal right after the open, a red bar buy signal, which is a possible counter trend signal on the Hawk, and it looks like that's getting some follow through. Here on the Eagle, we're getting a rule of three signal. We have the rule of three signal again as the counter trend signal. Excuse me. And I tend not to get too crazy on the counter trends, but we have a bullish band and we have signals producing against the bullish band, and we do have a test of the extreme. So all the components of a rule of three are there, even though we don't have three signals yet. See if we get a little bit of a pushback here and an opportunity for a second push entry. Well, they faded a little bit. If you wanted to take the chance at an earlier entry, you could use that bar as your signal bar. Minimum stop should go above there. And what time is it? Oh, shoot, we're only like 2-3 minutes into the session. This is a pretty risky trade, just given the time of the day. It's very, very early. I'm pointing it out. You may want to hold out for that third signal. In fact, I think that's what I might do. I'm going to chicken out of this trade and wait for the third signal. Oh, we are getting a first micro-macro cross lower. So there are a few components here saying that we may get a, oh, we're getting a trend change signal here in the Falcon as well. Well, the warning dot anyways. So things looking a touch more bearish at the moment. All right, there they go. They're retreating. Now that support at the low is holding. And what I would like to see is that third signal that would kind of confirm that everything is going to unwind to the short side. While I have you and while I think of it, a reminder once again that no trading room on Monday. I'm going to be out of town on Monday. Busy weekend here in the Cowichan Valley. This weekend is Sunfest. largest country music festival in, well, in the world, which is saying something for the itty-bitty Cowichan Valley. It started a few years ago, and it's really taken off. But I don't feel much like sharing. It's hot here now. It's what's the forecast for today? 35, which if you're on the Fahrenheit scale is going to be like 93. That's hot for these parts. And 40,000 people in an open air venue. Yeah, Mark says hopefully the smoke has cleared some. It has. The winds have picked up a little bit. We're getting more the onshore breeze, which is more typical for this part. And it's pushing some of the smoke back into the interior or east. It's more of a haze. But there's enough smoke in the air that I don't have allergies or asthma, but even I can feel it on my lungs, and you can even taste it. I swear I can taste it. One year, we were participating in a golf tournament, and it looked like snow. It was the ash falling from the sky from one of the forest fires. All right, so here we are now trading at the top end of the trading range. We had a first micro-macro cross lower that didn't, oh, I guess it did trigger with no follow-through. Now we're getting a first micro-macro cross higher. I'm still not sure which way the market might be leaning, so I'm still on hold here. Yes, definitely, Mark. Mark says, good. Better air quality is always good for the lungs. That's the nice thing about living in a small town. And being so close to the ocean, you know, there's almost always a breeze. All right, so what are you guys gonna do? All right, so no follow through to the upside either. This is odd. We are going to produce a 4-arrow consolidation here on the hawk, and we are back into the hard edge now from the top side. Still not entirely sure which way I want to commit, so I'll just keep waiting. You know, you're allowed to wait. As a trader, you can wait all day if you want, or if you need to. You should never feel rushed into taking a trade. Even if the market takes off from here and just goes screaming higher or lower, it never gives me another chance to get in while I'm jabbering away. I'm going to point out this is the third signal. So we now have a completed rule of 3. So we'll set it up. even if the market should take off from here one way or the other and leave me behind and never give me another chance to get in for the whole rest of the day, that is still preferable to getting stuck on the wrong side of the trade. Just a little something for you to keep in mind. Looks like we're going to get a little bull push here. If this bar that's forming heads lower, we're almost certain to see a move lower. Why? Well, because then we would have repeated tests of the high, and we would start making lower highs. See, right now we're still making higher lows, higher highs. Technically, that is an uptrend. Technically, the market should try to push up from here. And we do have buy signals. We got the red bar buy. We've got the hard edge bounce. Here on the Raptor, we're producing a cloud crossover signal. All right, so they're probably up there enough that I can delete this order. Same thing, you know, we're testing the overnight high. If the high holds here and market starts heading lower, produces another sell signal, that will still be a rule of 3, even though we now have 4 signals. A rule of 3 is just the concept. It doesn't always have to be 3 signals. Sometimes it will be 2. Sometimes it will be 4 or 5. If you start getting, you know, more than 5 signals, then you definitely have a sideways trading range. You do not have a breakout pattern. The E-mini holding tough, the NASDAQ a little bit stronger here on the rally. So the red bar buy signal following through on the hawk. Now we're getting a first micro macro cross higher. The number 1 signal on the Raptor also giving us good follow through. market very much in a bit of an uptrend. All right, so maybe that's going to be our trend direction today. Throw a little trend line on there. Okay, a little break now of the trend line, so we should see a little bit of buying come into the market to try to support that. Let's throw a trend line down here too. We'll see if we get a failure here at the high and the market tried to swing lower, produce a sell signal. I might be tempted to try to short. You can see the Geiger counter starting to pull here a little bit more to the sell side. The Raptor going to be a little bit faster with the sell signal than some of the other tools, but there's no denying we have a pretty brisk uptrend here, so got to be careful on the short side. All right, so a mini double top-ish type formation. No signal yet. What else do we have going on? Yeah, a bit of a macro pullback. You can see how closely the trend line follows the hard edge. This is why whenever we get a counter trend signal, the target is always the hard edge. Oh, come on, no signal? What's going on? One more push, are we? Is that the deal? Market getting a little weaker, but I'm not going to say we're going to end up in a full downtrend. I think that would be a little presumptuous. The Falcon's starting to turn over. We do have a macro pullback signal here in the hawk. That's our only buy signal at the moment. Oh, look at that. We're getting the slow drift back to the hard edge. This is the, or you could interpret this as a number 2 signal, but of course it's developing a touch late, so a little bit too close to the trend line. I may wait for it, well, I am going to wait for it to produce a larger failure, a larger number 2 signal, because there is a chance the market will react here now that it's come back to trendline support and the hard edge. We might see a bounce. The hawk here giving us a couple of options. We've got the red bar buy, which we can buy or sell, or we can simply use as an early warning that the trend may be changing. This is the second red bar buy within this recent uptrend. You only tend to get 2 within a trend, so here's an opportunity. Ooh, I don't think I'm going to do 2 contracts on a counter trend, but here's an opportunity to short. Or you can try to scalp out the with trend signal as prices attempt to retest. And what I may do, because it's counter trend and there's only a single contract in here, and yesterday's downtrend was quite dominant, I might try to run this trade out if we get it and delete the profit objective. All right, here they come. Maybe. Getting a trend change signal here on the Falcon, getting another signal here on the Raptor, which you could interpret as a number 2 signal. That's the soft edge sell. Oh, here I got to get rid of my profit. Oh well. We'll take the profit. Couldn't get back to my screen fast enough. That's okay. Profit is always good. All right, back in the hard edge, we'll see how things unfold here. Looks like we might have caught a little positive slip on that one. Oh, look look at that. Yes, we did. Hooray for us. All right, just waiting. We got got a little bit of a reaction coming here off the hard edge. And just kind of in hold mode. Oh, our trend change signal here on the Falcon as well. Also finding its profit objective. So the trend change signal occurs when the trend line changes direction and we get this characteristic down, up, down type pattern. Of course, the reverse is true when the market rallies. Trend line changes color, we get the up push, that changes the trend line color. Then we get the counter push, and then we get the with trend push along with the buy signal. That's your trend change signal on the Falcon. Very strong signal, tends to coincide most times with your number one signal on the Raptor. Not always, but most times. Oh man. Now I'm disappointed I didn't get a chance to run that trade out. Looks like I could have done much better than the $75, but that's okay. Now that we have an idea which way the market is going, we can look for with trend opportunities. pullback, and now here in the hawk. We're not quite to the hard edge on the raptor or the eagle. This would be an early signal. The market has moved quite a ways, so of course the challenge is, where do we place the stop? If we go with the 2 swing back rule, that kind of puts us right around there. We are getting a little bit of a second push on the signal. And we got some negative slip on this one. Oh yeah, we got slipped a couple of ticks there. What's up with that? Okay, so quick little hit and run off the macro pullback signal. I have to say that is one nice thing about the trading with the hawk scalper, and you can do this on the raptor as well. So raptor traders, don't feel like you're left out. You can adjust your profit objective. You know, sometimes it's a lot easier just to try to sneak $50, $60, even $70 out of the market than go for those home run trades. Especially if you're not sure. You know, when you get a little bit more trading time under your belt and you look at a market and you can say, yeah, this looks like a really good setup. The market should go from here. I'll try to run a contract, or I'll take partial profit and try to run out a contract. But when you're looking at a chart like this, and it's okay, it doesn't look like we have enough structure here, right? We haven't seen a really good test of the extreme. I doubt very much that the market is going to get back up here to around, well, we might see 5,900. But I seriously doubt that we're going to get back up here to the high of the day, 59.10, 59.12. That does not seem feasible. So this number one signal, that begs the question now for you Raptor owners. You're looking at this, say, well, Eric, do I take the number one signal or don't I? Well, it is a valid signal. I fully anticipate that the market will attempt to head lower still. However, it's a logistical problem. Where do we enter this trade? Oh, well, pardon me, not where do we enter the trade, where do we cover the trade? Well, ideally, we cover it up here, don't we? And if you can afford that, then go ahead, take the trade. But you should also, intuitively, you should be looking at this and you should be thinking, there hasn't been a decent pullback here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll look for a second push entry opportunity. So the second push simply means we allow the signal to engage and then we see where it flinches. So this is kind of the limit of the sellers right now. That is quite a ways removed from the number one signal, but if you still wanted to take it, that now becomes your signal bar. Oops, sorry. That bar there now becomes your signal bar. That means you can likely cover the trade to here or even to the hard edge, or maybe even above the primary resistance zone. That kind of brings things a little bit closer. It's a little bit more doable. Here, let's do that. So I'll enter below here. We'll cover at the hard edge, and that'll be our trade. the idea is if the buyers are stronger, they're going to at least push the market back to the hard edge, and that will give me an opportunity at a hard edge sell. That's the number 3 signal. If the sellers are stronger, then they should resume the downtrend, and this little swing low should be irrelevant. Way to go, Mark. Mark says, I'm 3 for 3 and over my $500 goal for the day. Now I'm in sim. Good Friday trading. Well done, Mark. Okay, did they slip me again here? It almost looks like I took a slip on that. Yeah, they did too. Market's a little thin here this morning. Let's see if I can get a couple ticks back. Okay, we're at break even. All right. Voila. So there you go. You have it in action. Real time. And there's the logic on it. And Mark, were you trading multiple contracts or singles? Just curious. Very good. Mark says multiples. Lots of 3. 3 lots. Or as if you ever hear trader slang, they call them cars. 3 cars. Lots is more of a Forex term. Unless, of course, Mark is trading Forex. So if you're ever hobnobbing at a trader's cocktail party and everybody's bragging about how well they did on the day, you can say, yeah, I traded 3 cars in the NASDAQ and just rode that all the way down. Well, maybe it was just as well I took profit on target there and didn't try to get cute again. It's funny how often the market will hit its high probability objective. And then reverse. Again, it's not a full-on reversal we're looking at. I think the trend, well, for now, I think we can safely say we are in a downtrend. But even downtrends have their counter moves. Crude oil heading a little bit lower. Falcon working a little bit of a trend change. We may see a number 2 counter trend signal show up as a result. Like I said, though, the immediate trend is down. So I don't know if I want to get too crazy on the buy side, unless, of course, it is just a short-term scalp. There's a lot of times you can sneak $50 out of a trade. We do have a market that is consolidating a little bit, though. Here, I'll show you on the Raptor. So we have this kind of thing going on, providing us swings here. So we've got a couple little lows. We're getting a little bit of consolidation, a little bit sideways trading. Okay, if this Falcon signal prints, that will be a trend change signal. Like I said, the Raptor, I'm surprised we don't have a buy dot here yet. The Raptor working a possible soft edge buy. We may see a retrace here to the hard edge, maybe even back to the median line. Once again, it's not a trade I would get too wild on, I don't think. I think it's a kind of trade, if you're going to try it, then you got to have a hit and run type mentality. Just grab a couple of bucks and get out of there. Same thing here with this macro pullback signal here on the hawk. Ooh, that's a little rich, but oh, sorry, the yellow bar spoiled that. I'm gonna 1, 2, 3. Well, you could see it as a 4-arrow consolidation. It does have that bear flag look to it. All right, well, there's the 4th signal. So we are getting, there's the green bar sell now. So we are getting a couple of sell signals. No, still moving away from me. Let's try that again. So there's the green bar sell. that signal has since disappeared. So we'll cancel that. And while I was chasing that around, here we got the Falcon trend change signal and the number 2 soft edge buy signal. Why did a number 2 not print, you say? Well, the signal parameters were such that it didn't quite meet all the requirements. That doesn't mean that it wasn't a valid signal. As you can see, we got that little bit of a pullback. Pretty good pullback. So buyers now taking their turn at the market. And of course, now that we're back in the hard edge and would have reached our profit objective, it's normal to anticipate a reaction here. We'll see if we get a bounce here off of the hard edge and the eagle, and maybe even a number 3 signal in the raptor. But a pretty good day so far. We're just waiting, watching and waiting, waiting and watching. Francisco is asking, why not take the eagle or the hawk signals? Well, the eagle signal is against the band. The eagle actually has a bearish band, so that signal is not valid. The hawk signal, yeah, definitely you could take the hawk signal. That's a first micro-macro cross higher. You can see you got a nice little uptick there. Stops at least to the crest, ideally below the swing low. Again, like I said, because the hawk scalper has a much closer profit objective, it's a little bit easier to take advantage of some of those signals because you're not looking for a whole lot out of the market. Yeah, and the push higher continues, so very, very bullish market. When I said it might push back to 5,900, I didn't really think it would push back to 5,900, but here we go. Look at that rally. I'm wondering if it's because it's a little bit thinner here. We're not getting the normal structure that a lot of times we'll see. Okay, I take it back. The sellers don't have control here today. It has rapidly advanced into a buyer's market. The sellers did pick it up at around 5,900 though. Excuse me. So we might see some selling at the 5,900 level. All right, well, no real pullback yet. We're an hour into the session, so this is a lot of times when we'll see the market shake up a little bit. Yeah, way to go, Jeff. Jeff says, I took that last first micro macro cross, that's this signal right here, the one that Francisco pointed out. He says, I took it with 2 contracts, took profit on one and have a runner on. Didn't feel comfortable about it, but you always say the least comfortable trades are the ones that work out. And how true is that? It's almost as though when the market is setting up, I don't want to say the market knows because the market doesn't really know, but yeah, very often the trades that look the least promising are the most promising. Way to go, Francisco. Francisco says, I got lucky with the eagle. Yeah, the eagle and the hawk trade actually signaling at the same time. The eagle trade, like I said, because it wasn't in sync with the band, is not a trade that I would have considered. Although I will point out that Mike Filigera is a little bit more liberal with his eagle signals, and he'll take the eagle signal even if it's counter the band, so long as it's in sync with the ATR. So he likes to look for that. All right, they're slowing a little. Not much, but a little. All right, I'm starting to wonder whether we're going to get a little bit of a counter trend signal here. You guys are going to think all I ever focus on are counter trend signals, but that's not true. It's just we don't have a with trend opportunity at the moment. You can certainly hold out for the with trend opportunity, but you see we got a little bit of a retest here. The market's starting to fail. We may well see a number two signal, a soft edge sell. let's put that here on the shelf. Yes, good point. You know, and Francisco says, I've seen the eagle reverse a lot when that signal prints near the hard edge. This is actually the beginnings of the rule of three signal, right? It doesn't reverse all the time at the hard edge. But at the same time, you know, as you start to use your tools and you become more comfortable with them, there might be things that you look at and you say, yeah, that looks like it's going to be a pretty good signal. Sometimes something just in your gut tells you. Francisco also asks, what do you think about using the eagle on crude oil set to sit 6 ticks? Yes, yeah, by all means. Ray Burke liked to have multiple eagle settings, and I think he went with a 6, an 8, and a 12. So he had 3 eagle charts, a 6, 8, and a 12. As I mentioned before, though, you know, there's more to trading than attempting to filter out all the bad signals. Right? Bad signals are going to happen. That's just a fact of trading. Like Ed Sequoia, one of the best traders of modern times, said, if you want to eliminate losing trades or losing signals, stop trading. And this from one of the most successful traders of all time. So I refer to it as a rabbit hole or a black hole. It is fun. You know, Adam always called it mental masturbation. It's something that's fun to do. It's entertaining, but don't get stuck in that rut that says, I've got to eliminate all bad signals. Oh, if I just do this, I will get, you know, better signals. Yeah, you might for a while, but very few things in trading are permanent. Now, I realize crude oil has been very, very stagnant of late. So dialing down to a 6-tick eagle, that might be a good idea. You may as well go to the alternate settings across the board. So that would give you a 4-tick hawk, a 4-tick falcon, and a 6-tick eagle. Nothing wrong with that. It's going to introduce a few more signals, but like I said, crude oil has just been so lazy, so lame lately. Like here's crude oil on the day. We haven't gotten a crude oil signal. So if you were watching crude oil, it'd be, you know, nothing going on. So dialing it down to the faster settings, yeah, definitely. At least it will give you some opportunities. But you always need to temper that with, you know, with the fact that you're doing it to trade better, not to try to eliminate, you know, all false signals. And I'm not picking on Francisco when I say this because I've been guilty of it for years. Like I said, it's a rabbit hole. It's an easy trap to get into, where you're so focused on the system that you forget what it is you're trying to do. Early traders, here's something that's going to put it in perspective for you. If you go back to the early days of trading, back in the 1920s, 1930s, the days of Charles Dow, Jesse Livermore, Richard Wyckoff, these guys didn't even have charts. I think Richard Wyckoff was one of the first to do charts, and he would do a hand-drawn chart. And he recorded the high, the low, the close. Other than that, they would read the ticker tape. And they would try to, from the ticker tape, they would try to get a feel for, okay, which way is the market leaning? Who's doing more buying? Who's doing more selling? Now, trading has come a long ways in 100 years, but the principles remain the same. You always have to try to figure out who's stronger. Is it the buyers or the sellers? And then you look to position yourself accordingly. Yeah, Mark says those were the guys that really worked for a living in this business. They did. We have it so easy by comparison. We have, well, you know, we have almost too much information. If you look at your indicator, now I've got a few on here that aren't stock indicators, but by and large, these are all stock indicators that come with your NinjaTrader. And each one is infinitely tweakable. You can make indicators of indicators. You know, I can make a triple exponential moving average of the 50-day simple moving average if I wanted. You know, it's endless, the opportunities. And if that weren't enough, you can go to a website like Indicator Warehouse, or you know, the NinjaTrader has a forum. And just a moment here, I'll pull it up. NinjaTrader has a forum of indicators that other traders have made, and how many pages are there? Well, there are over 25 pages. There we go, showing results. 425. 425 pages of indicators. Talk about your rabbit holes. You can get seriously sidetracked. And like I said, it's fun to a point. If you're bored with nothing to do and you want to, you know, play with the indicators, yeah, go for it. But don't think that's trading. That's not trading. That's programming. That's a lot of things, but trading is not. Jeff shares, he says, I love that 3-period ATR. He says it holds the market really well. So, oh, there's that number 2 signal. We must have been waiting on some sort of report or something. So here's that number 2 signal. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. Let's do the 3-period ATR first. So there's the default ATR. There's the 3-period ATR, and you can see it does do a very good job of keeping you in a trending market. So those days that the market is trending, it's a good default to go to. Now we're into the hard edge. I wonder if I'm going to get a second chance, if the market's going to bounce here and give me one more signal. All right, well, here's the first micro-macro cross lower. We're back into the hard edge. A bounce should be anticipated. So if you're looking to try this first micro-macro cross, stops need to go above the highs. Oh, didn't get slipped on that one. That's nice for a change. Wow, sellers coming back hard. Come on, just get down there. Okay, now we're getting that little bit of bullish pushback. That's why our stops had to be so far away. Funny, we didn't even get a chance. Came up a tick or two short of my break even. I suspect we're going to see a little bit more follow through here on the short side, and the market may actually just end up trading sideways today. That's probably how things are going to play out. All right, boys and girls, once again, just a reminder before we close the room, no trading room on Monday. I will be out of town on Monday, so I will see you again on Tuesday. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you then. Bye for now.